Hello, welcome back. We're working on the second half of Hedwig. I'm going to start learning those notes today. Let's start with actually the last few notes of the first half so we can connect them together. So the first half ended. We ended that with a fourth finger E, E on the A string. So we played 4 fingers on the A string for our note E. We're going to change that now just temporarily. Just to simplify our shift that we're learning there. So we're going to play open E, even though that fourth finger E sounds nice and mellow. That's a great way to end on a quiet, mellow note. But temporarily we're changing that to open E, just so that we have fewer things to do at the same time as we're doing our new shift there. And then once that shift gets a little bit easier and more natural, then you can go back to the and still get that shift in there. Alright, so now we're up in second position. Our 1 is on a note named G here. And then the next note is going to be the note named B, which is where our 3 is going. So we'll play G, B, G, B, G, and then we'll play a C. B and C are only a half step apart, so 3 and 4 are going right next to each other there. So G, B, G, B, G, C, just like that. And after that C, we'll play B again, and then we'll play B flat. The note B flat is a half step lower than B, so just scoot your 3 down like that, and we got a B flat. Just like that. Next thing we're going to do is shift back to first position. So usually a little bit easier going back to first because that's kind of your hand's home base. You know, your hand's kind of memorized where that is. Though you might overshoot it at first, especially if you're used to shifting back and forth to third position. Now you're just shifting this tiny, teensy little bit. But keep practicing moving that tiny little bit, and you should be able to get that. So shifting back to first position, and we'll play 1, 2, F sharp G, just like that. And then we'll play 4, 3, which is B, and your 3 is on B flat, because your 3 is just a half step lower than B. Half step lower than B is B flat, just like that. So 3 is not on the tape here. 3 is not in its normal spot, it's in its high spot. Just like that. Then we're going to play B flat on the A string. B flat on the A string, again, half step lower than B. So you got, normally B on the A string is here on the tape. B flat on the A string is back here. So you reach away from you to play a half step lower than B, B flat. You're going to bring it up to B. Just like that. And then you're going to reach your 4th finger up on the E string to play that B where it is on the E string. Right, so you got B flat, B, and then B. Let's start with that F sharp down here, the 1 on the E string. 1, 2, 4, 3, 1, 1, 4. Alright, then we're going to circle our bow around so we can do 2 up bows in a row. So we can start the next part on an up bow, just like we started this thing on an up bow. In fact, the next thing is the same as that thing. So the beginning of the part we just learned is also the beginning of the next part. Let's go ahead and play through that part we just learned. Now we're shifting up to second position again, circling our bow around and going up bow again. You probably don't need to worry about the bowing just now. You can kind of ignore what your bow's doing. Just keep in mind that eventually you want to get that circle bow in there as well. So that starts out just the same as the first part that we did, right? But now instead of just going teeny bit higher and putting our 4 right next to 3, we're going to shift up to third position. So let's do a quick exercise. We're getting from second position to third position. Luckily, the notes we're shifting between, again, are ringing notes. In other words, we're shifting from a G to the fourth finger, which will be on a note named D. So G and D are both strings that we have open strings on the violin, and those notes will resonate with your open strings. So you'll hear an extra ringing sound even after the bow stops. Those open strings continue to resonate if you're playing a G or a D or an A or an E, any of your open strings that you have. So that's your D, and that's your G. So if you shift back and forth between 1 on the note named G on the E string to 4, which will be on a D when you're in third position. So just kind of do that repetitively over and over again till you get a little muscle memory for where that G is, where the D is. And then when you're ready to move on, we'll put that together with the notes right before it. So we're practicing that shift. I would do just that much over and over again. Just like that. So pause the video, practice that a bit, and then we'll go on to... I'm going to go down by half steps. In other words, there's just a half step between 3 and 4, right? So go down to that 3, and then move the 3 down a half step lower than that, and play that, right? So you played 4, 3, 3. Next note after that is the 1, and this is going to be a low 1. So normally in third position, 1 is here where 3 goes. We're going to reach the 1 back to the high 2 tape right here. So normally 1 is here, we're going to reach back to there. But you're going to keep your hand, you're not going to, this is not a shift. We're not moving our whole hand this time. Because the very next note is that 3 that you just played right here. So you played 4, 3, 3, right here actually. 4, 3, 3. Then you're going to reach back, play this 1, and the very next note is this 3 again. 4, 3, and then the lower 3. Reach back for the 1, then back to the 3. Just like that. And then we'll play 2, 2, like that. So this 2, and then this 2. Right? So we played the 3, and then we play the 2, and then we play the 2 a half step lower than it was a second ago. Let's go back a bit. So this is the second thing, where we're shifting up to the D up here, a half step, and then move your 3 a half step lower. 1 is back here on, and then 3 is back here, and then 2, and then 2. That's kind of a complicated part, isn't it? Let's slow that down just a little bit. Up to D. 4, 3, 3. Then you're reaching back for your 1, 3, 2, 2. So it's a little tricky, but there is sort of a pattern to it. How you play the 4, and then the 3, and then the 3 a half step lower, right? And if you go back to the 1, back to the 3, and then the 2, and then the 2 a half step lower, just like that. So you're playing 4, 3, 3. That's the high 3 and then the low 3, right? So 4, high 3, low 3, 1, 3, and then high 2, low 2. So your fingers are sliding all over the place here, but for this part of the song, your hand is staying put. For this part of the song, we are not shifting. Once you're in third position, we're staying in third position. Well, for this part anyways, for this little bit. So we play 4, 3, 3. 1 is in the low place. 3 goes right back where it just was, and then 2 again, that lower, right? 4, 3, low 3, 1, 3, 2, low 2. Okay, so should be able to get it from that. If not, go back, rewind it, go back, rewind it, go back, rewind it. Just keep trying. You should be able to get that. If not, email me and I'll try to explain it a little better next time. Alright, so from the beginning of that part, starting in second position, next thing we're going to do, now we're going back to first position, all the way down to a low 1 on the A string, at B flat. And this is the same ending as the ending of the first half. So we're playing the B flat on the A string, that low 2 on the E string, and then we can play fourth finger for that E to give a nice mellow E for our final note of the song. And that's it. So maybe you've already learned the first half. I haven't made that video yet, but I'm about to. So see you next time. Bye-bye.